Hey everyone, this is Russell Brunson, and I want to welcome you to the DotComSecrets Ignite training webinar, and I am super excited for this. This training you guys are going to be going through is literally, it's kind of like my labor of love. It's my, a lot of people talk about their mission, like their thing in life that they feel like they're put here on earth to do, and I really think for whatever reason, I was put on this earth to help people to figure out how to market and help grow their businesses. Like it's been something I've been passionate about for over a decade now, and I've been doing it in our own businesses and other people's businesses, and for whatever reason I've been blessed and I've had such a unique opportunity to work in so many different businesses and so many different industries that for whatever reason I feel like I've been able to see so many things that because of that I'm able to kind of share some things that aren't just specific to my business. A lot of people that teach internet marketing, they're focusing on what works in their business or somebody else's business. But this is something that works in literally in pretty much every business, every industry that I've worked with. These concepts we're going to be sharing, they work. And so this webinar is not going to be a short one. It's going to be long. I want you to get prepared. Hopefully you have something to drink with you, a pad of paper, a pencil, all that kind of stuff, because we're going to be covering a lot of stuff in a very, it's kind of long, but it's also a very short period of time. Recently, I actually did a 3-day event out here in Boise, and we taught all this stuff over 3 days. And in 3 days, the audience was overwhelmed. I was tired. I was worn out. And we're trying to compress that entire thing into 3 or 4 hours. And so that's kind of the game plan for today. It's going to be a lot of fun. The title of this this presentation again is DotComSecrets Ignite. DotComSecrets is my company. We call this Ignite because this is the ignition. This is the initial spark you need to really take off any company, any business. If you're just beginning a business, it's the ignition you need. Or if you've got a business and you want to explode it, this is where it begins. And so this is really what I'm going to be covering is the underground playbook for doubling your sales online. That's what I'm going to show you how to do, because for me, I spent years and years and years trying to make more money and trying to increase my sales and all sorts of stuff. And it wasn't until I realized and kind of learned these secrets that everything kind of came together. Now, I say that I also want to kind of mention that all the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you, these are not all my own original concepts. A lot of these things I learned from friends and from mentors and from just amazing people around me. I've been blessed to be around some of the most amazing marketers on the planet. And I will always try to give credit where credit is due on any of these concepts I share with you guys, because again, they're not all mine, but they're things that I've taken and incorporated in my companies, to my company and the companies we work with, and it's just stuff that works. And so that's kind of what it is, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so one thing I want to do before we get too much in this, guys, I want to make you guys a promise. I promise you that by the end of this webinar, you're going to feel a little bit like this. And this is one of my favorite pictures in the world, because someone told me one of the first times I was speaking at a seminar, I was speaking, and as a lot of you guys probably know, I get really excited and I talk really, really fast. And somebody told me afterwards, they said, "Man, Russell, I feel like I felt like someone was shooting a fire hose into my mouth the entire time." And then about a year later, I found this picture, and it made me laugh so hard, because this is probably how you're going to feel. I promise you will feel overwhelmed before we're done. We're compressing a decade worth of information in the next 4 or 5 hours, and it's important you guys don't get frustrated or nervous. You will get overwhelmed. I'm going to be covering so much stuff. But at the end of this, I'll show you how to get a copy of this training so that you can watch it again later in the future and slow things down and dig a lot deeper. And obviously, at the same time, if you want, we can work with you a lot closer at a personal level to kind of implement these things into your company as well. But I do promise you, you'll feel like this. We're covering a ton of stuff in a very compressed, short period of time. And so just don't be concerned about that. I promise you it's going to happen, and it'll be worth it, though. All right, so real quick to begin with, I want to let you know who I am. My name is Russell Brunson, and this is a picture of me passed out at a Dan Kennedy seminar. Now, if any of you guys know who Dan Kennedy is, he is kind of the godfather of direct response marketing. He was the guy who I think kind of taught this entire industry to all of the internet marketers, the direct response marketers, and anyway, a while ago I had a chance to get to know him, and we became friends, and started becoming the internet marketing trainer in their company. And this was one of the events I spoke at. And at the event, there was 1,200 people, and he made me speak for 6 hours. I was on stage 4 times in a 3-day period of time. And what was interesting is I actually spoke more at his event than Dan did. Okay, and so that kind of just shows you the power of internet marketing right now. Like, people are more interested in internet marketing than any other kind of marketing right now, and it makes sense because that's what works and that's what's working really, really big. And so again, I had the honor of speaking there at his seminar for 6 hours on stage, and between my sessions, I was just beat and I passed out. So there I am, passed out. Somebody made this into a poster and put it online, and it went viral, and everyone's always like, hey, you're that guy who falls asleep when he's making money. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Anyway, so one of the reasons why Dan wanted me to speak at his event is I started a company called DotComSecrets a little while ago, where we teach people all these internet marketing secrets, all the stuff we do to generate traffic, to make sales, to grow companies online. And I think what's different between us and most of the other internet marketing coaching businesses in the world is that as far as I know, I can maybe count one or two other people who I can say this about, but there are very few people who make more money outside of the how to make money on the internet market than in it. And our company is one where we actually make more money every single month doing internet marketing than we do teaching internet marketing. And that's something I'm proud of because, again, I can maybe count one or two other people that I know of who actually do that. The rest of them are out there selling internet marketing training, and that's all they do. So rest assured that we actually have real businesses and really sell stuff online, and I'm very proud of that. And a lot of people ask me, well, Russell, if you do that, then why in the world are you still doing this internet marketing training stuff? And the reason is, like, it opens up a lot of doors for me. I had a chance to hang out with Dan Kennedy and get to know him. I had a chance, because of our DotComSecrets training company, to meet Russell Brunson. In fact, here's a picture of me on stage with Russell Brunson when he awarded our company an airplane. And so if you guys fly Virgin Air, next time you get on one of the planes, look on the outside. And someone asked me one time, is that photoshopped on? No, that is physically on the side of the airplane. It says DotComSecrets Air, and it'll be on the side of the airplane until that airplane blows up or disappears in the middle of the ocean or something like that. And so it's kind of cool. So we have our own airplane from Russell Brunson, which, again, that was a huge door that got opened because of our internet marketing training company. Had a chance to meet Tony Robbins. I actually went to his business mastery event out in Fiji. I think he charges people like 20 or 30 grand to go to this event. He had me come and speak, and I was the internet marketing training coach, which was really awesome, and had a chance to fly my wife and my kids out there. I actually have 4 kids now. By the time we had 3, so that's all of them here. And we're actually sitting on top of Tony Robbins' house in Fiji in a bed overlooking the ocean. So I don't know about you, but it was like one of the coolest experiences of my life, and it was just really cool to get to know him and his wife, and spend, I think we ended up spending about 10 days in Fiji, and spoke at the event and just hung out and had a ton of fun. So it was pretty awesome. So those are some of the reasons why we have our internet marketing training company, and that's kind of where it all came about. All right. Now I want to kind of tell you some of my backstory, because a lot of people ask me, like, how do you learn all this stuff? What's why do you do this? And so it all began for me when I was about 12 years old, and that's when my junk mail addiction began. I was actually watching late night TV one night. My dad was watching the news, and I think he forgot that I was still awake. And when the news was over, all of a sudden these little infomercials came up, and there was this guy on this infomercial talking about how he made money posting classified ads in newspapers. And I got so excited that I wanted to learn how to do it, and so I wanted my dad to buy the kit. And my dad was like, I'm not going to buy that kit. But I was sold. The guy sold me on the fact you can make money using classified ads. And so I went and I saved up $40 for his kit. I had to mow lawns and do a bunch of work, and I saved up money, and I bought this kit. And the kit, he started talking about how he was making money with classified ads. He said, I took a classified ad, I placed it in a newspaper, and when I did, I made $30 profit. He said, and then I was proud of that, but I told my friends and my family, and they kind of made fun of me. But he said, I took that same ad and I placed it in 1,000 newspapers, and then I was able to make $30,000. And I remember when he explained that, like, the light bulbs went off my head. I realized that, man, if you understand marketing and how to create products and do things like that, you can literally scale a business really, really big. Like, I was thinking about people, my teachers. I was thinking about other people like that who go to work each day, and they're working for 10 or 12 or 15 or $50 or $100 an hour or even more. But no matter what, if they want to make more money, they got to work more hours. And this was my big first epiphany that, man, if I create a product or a service and I sell it, I can sell it all day long, and it doesn't increase the hours I have to work. And that was kind of the beginning of my whole marketing journey. And again, I was 12 years old at the time. And so I started going out there and I started studying this and learning things. I remember I bought a magazine called Small Business Opportunities Magazine. And some of you guys have probably seen it before. It's literally a magazine that has 140 pages worth of ads and like 2 articles inside of it. And I remember I was flipping through this and reading all these ads, and it just got me excited. And I started calling the 1-800 numbers in these ads and requesting their free kits. And I started learning about marketing. And this is what that old offline method kind of looked like. Okay, somebody would see an ad like me in a magazine or a newspaper, or they get a postcard or something, right? And then they would call a phone number, and then somebody would answer the phone and they say, hey, thanks for calling for your free kit. What's your address? And they get the address, and then that person would then physically mail them a letter. And that letter, they would open it up, and what was it? It was a sales letter. And that sales letter would then sell some kind of product. Okay? And this is what I learned back when I was 12 years old. That this is how people were making money. Okay, the guy in the infomercial was placing classified ads and doing this process. I saw people in magazines doing it. I started getting direct mail. I started just learning all these things, and this is the way that they were making money. There's some kind of direct response ad saying, call this phone number or mail in, a self-addressed stamped envelope to this thing. And they would mail back a free report, and the free report was just a sales letter. They would sell them some kind of product. And I remember I saw that over and over and over again, and I got it. I said, this is awesome. But I didn't know how to do that. I didn't have any money to go buy ads. It was really expensive. And so while I learned it, I didn't have the ability to ever do it. And I think that that's one thing that's unfortunate. A lot of people are never able to actually make money back then because it just cost too much. And that's the beauty of the internet. A few years later, when I wasn't 12, when I was closer to 21 or 22, so about 10 years later, I started learning about this whole internet thing. And what was interesting is that as I started learning about it, it was very similar to the offline thing. Except instead of having to buy an ad in a newspaper or a magazine or on TV or whatever, we were buying ads on websites. And somebody would click on that ad and it would go to a page that would say, hey, do you want a free report? Give me your email address. Okay, notice it's very similar to a real address, but give me your email address and I'll email you this report. People would give you the email address, they click submit, and the next page, what would show up? A report. And what was that report? It was a sales letter selling them something. Okay, does this look familiar, guys? This process happening offline is the exact same process that's happening online. The difference is that for me to go place an ad, it's a lot cheaper sometimes. For me to send somebody a sales letter and email is free versus direct mail costs a lot more money. And suddenly when I learned this process, I said, this is the same thing I was learning about when I was 12, but now it's on the internet. Now people like me can play. Okay, and this again, I was 21, 22 years old. I was in college and I was learning this. And it got me excited because I realized that this is something that I could actually do. I could do this. And so I started getting into this whole business, started doing this process. I'd write ads and I'd send them to a page and I'd get them to join my list and I'd send them sales letters and sales videos to sell them stuff. And I started selling all sorts of things. Started growing my own company and started having a ton of fun with that. And so that's kind of where, for me, this whole internet marketing thing began. Okay, so I wanted to tell that story because I really want you guys to see the correlations that all the stuff I'm talking about and we're going to be showing you guys today. A lot of it's very similar to what's been happening for hundreds of years. Like, we're not inventing this, but it's a new media and it's a new way to do it. And when you understand that and understand how to harness it, you can scale a company very, very quickly. In fact, for example, we launched a new supplement a little while ago. And in January of this year, the supplement was doing about $20,000 a month. And as soon as we got our numbers right and kind of this process figured out and it started working, we were able to scale it. And by March, we were making $300,000 a month. Within a month or two later, we're at $500,000 a month. And next month, we have the potential of doing over $1 million. And that's happening in, within just a couple months, we can scale things very, very quickly. And that's the power of this whole online stuff that we're talking about. And this is why I think people like the internet now, because you can scale things up so much faster than you ever could, so much faster and cheaper than you ever could with traditional offline marketing. Okay? All right. So we're going to be covering 4 different sections during the training today. And like I said, we've got a ton to cover, so I hope that we're able to get it all in. But section number 1 is designing your dream business. Okay? So many people, and I'm guilty of this as well, we get in this entire business and we don't think about who we really want to sell to initially. We kind of come in and maybe we have an idea for a product or service and we start creating things and we start just moving forward. Or maybe we already have an offline business and we just want to take it online and we start running. And what I found, this is a lesson that, man, took me probably 8 years to learn, and I wish I would have learned it 8 years earlier, which is why we're starting with it. Because if you do this correctly, you can literally design your dream business from day number one and have it become a business you love. Okay, if you don't do this, you're probably gonna have happen to you what kind of happened to me. You're gonna build a business that that seems really nice at first, but because you didn't really plan it out, it very quickly becomes more of a nightmare. And I want to save you guys from that turmoil and torment by figuring out how to design your business the right way initially. And so this is the first step in that is a process I call the secret formula. Okay, so this is what the secret formula looks like. And I have these little graphics to kind of illustrate all these different points because I don't know about you guys, but when I see graphics like this, it helps me to understand a concept, and then later when I come back, I can look at the image within seconds. I can recall exactly what it was that I was trying to learn. Okay, so this is a secret formula to building your dream business. It's going to be a business that you're going to love. Okay, the first thing you got to figure out, starts way over here to the left, is who. Who is the person you want to sell to? Who's your dream customer? Okay, now if you don't know who that person is right now, I promise you're going to attract the wrong person. Okay, for years I was just selling stuff about how to make money on the internet, and I didn't really identify who my target market was. I said, hey, anyone wants to make money on the internet? That's who I'm selling to. And guess what happened from that? I got everyone who wanted to make money on the internet, and a lot of those people, the majority of those people, didn't have any money, they didn't have any time, they didn't have any skills, any resources, and they just weren't the kind of people who were going to have success. Okay, and it wasn't until about 2 years ago we sat down and said, look, this is not our dream client. Okay, these are not the kind of people we want to work with. Who do we actually want to work with? And we sat down and we started thinking, like, who is that person? Who's our dream client? And we started mapping out exactly who that person is and what they're interested in, what they like, and what their passions are, and we started mapping out all these things, and we really identified who our target customer was. And I want to show you guys something kind of cool because the next two slides I think will be interesting to you guys because I'm curious that if these slides represent who you are. Okay, because what we did is we went through, we mapped out all all the things about our dream customer, and then I actually went to Google, and we kind of picked we call it the customer avatar, right? And we picked a name for each one. And so, like for example, first one I said is going to be Julie. This is what she's going to look like. This is what she's going to be interested in. We kind of wrote that out. Then I took Julie and I went to Google and I went to Google Images. I typed in Julie, successful businesswoman, and all the different criteria of what I wanted, and I clicked submit, and all these pictures started showing up. And I scrolled through it till I found my dream client. So let me show you how it worked. This one right here is Julie. Okay, Julie is one of my dream clients. She is successful, she is driven. Okay, Julie's got a message that she wants to share with the world. Okay, she values her own personal growth and development and the growth and development of other people more than she values money. She likes money, but she's more interested in building something big and like helping a lot of people and serving the world. And Julie already has a business that's making her about at least 5 figures a year. So she's got something happening. It's not where she wants it to be yet, but she's figured out all the hard stuff initially of getting a business off the ground and those type of things. Because something like that, I can come there and I can do all sorts of stuff to help take it to the next level. But Julie is kind of my dream client. Okay. Now for the women who are watching this right now, I'm curious if any of you guys, do you guys fit into the mold of Julie? Okay. I know I've got Liz and Christy on here. Liz and Christy, does this sound at all like you guys? Okay, we identified exactly who our dream client was, and guess what? When you do that, and through this process I'm going to show you, you'll attract the kind of person you want. Okay, so this is Julie. Now, you should do the same thing with your client. Figure out who it is, find an image of them, take a picture of it. Like, I don't know who this picture actually is. I just know in Google Images, she showed up and I saw her, I said, boom, I want to work with her. I want to hang out with her. She's someone who, if she came to a mastermind meeting, would be fun to hang out with. Okay, did the same thing with my male avatar. Okay, I called him Mike. I said I want a guy named Mike. I want someone who's kind of a former athlete, and usually someone who's kind of changed somebody's life in a small way, but he wants to take that to the next level and help a lot more people. Same things, he values growth over money, and he's already got a business that's making some money. Okay, so Julie and Mike, these are my 2 customer avatars, and I am pretty sure that for most of you guys on this line, you are going to fit into one of these 2 profiles. Okay, because that's who we're targeting. That's who we're trying to get to be into our company. Okay, so for you guys, you got to figure out the same thing. Like, who is it you really want to be working with? Okay, because if you don't identify that, I promise you guys, everything else, you may or may not make money, But if you do, you may end up with customers you don't want to be with. Okay. All right. So there's my who. That's the first step. Second step is figuring out where are those people at. Okay. Now I know exactly who Julie and who Mike are. Where are they at? Where are they spending their time? Where online are they? And we're going to talk about that a lot more here in later on in the training. But I want you to think about it, like, because as soon as I know who they are, I can find out where they're hanging out online.